Good morning, everybody. I am today starting the second part of a reading. Good morning, Lynn, Barbie, Kylie. And Lynn sent me some of her work and photos, and let's start with that as an intro. I'm actually playing Lynn's music. So let's start over here, and I'll see you on the other side. Black Pearls by Lynn Westbrook. Now, wasn't that wonderful, guys? Congratulations, Lynn. Bravo, bravo. Thank you so much for sharing your talent with everybody here. Oh my gosh, this is so greatly appreciated. And what a beautiful woman you are. So, guys, I am really encouraging everybody. You can send your photos, but I kind of like prefer kind of like show me who you are without showing me who you are. Keep your incognito status, but send me stuff that you do, like you are knitting or you are, you know, like golfing or doing stuff, action. So that way we can introduce you to everybody else. Oh, well, it was my pleasure too. So, sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather. I could sneeze at any moment. It's ridiculously warm outside. It is like 75. Unfortunately, it's not sunny, and it's a little bit of raining. So we have both the storm and the cold wave, and it's kind of like ridiculous. I also, guys, I don't know if you're not on my newsletter list, mailing list, please do subscribe, because I did send you everything you need to know. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of lunar eclipse is a little bit negative, but I want to show you something. Look at that. And this was submitted by Kylie. And wasn't this freaking amazing? Look at her pictures of eclipse. And this is taken from Australia. It was, I think she said, 9 o'clock in the evening. I did wake up really, really early over here, but it was already daylight at 6:30. I guess we just moved the clock and this couldn't be seen. Look at that, exiting out. Unbelievable photos, Kylie. And it's just like so great what the phones can do these days. Absolutely impressed. So this was that moment. Like, look how she's sketching it. You can see on the left still the leftover of the regular kind of like white lunar color and turning into the red. So thank you, Kylie, so much for sharing these pictures. So this was like the blood moon, and I have sent this email advising everybody about good and not so good things about it. So I don't know about you, I generally would prefer to have a very calm life, but this is not my destiny. My destiny is that I always have to go over some humps, and I guess maybe this is good because I am much better in how I react, how I deal with people, with kind of like being dealt with such a large variety of situations and people in my life. However, having said that, I am not inviting those experiences. So when we have this lunar eclipse, this really brings stuff like a bulldozer to our life. So, but if you really think about it, this is bringing to light stuff that we need to do. And I have meditated a lot on it last week. I'm doing my detox. It was like up and down like a yo-yo. But I was getting some insights about these eclipses, and it's really interesting. That message was, you guys, and that was, I guess, we here on Earth, are not doing what you are meant to do. You come there to really learn your lesson, and you're treating it like vacation. It was like really, really bizarre. So maybe like these eclipses are bringing to the fore what we really need to deal with. And so if you experience anything over the next, well, a while, 6 months, that's because this needs to surface. And instead of fighting it, instead of going back to the old patterns, think about it. Like if you have problems with food, and food is like your calming method, as it kind of like is for me, maybe it is a time to stop yourself and say, why am I doing this? What emotion I'm calming, and so on and so forth. So basically dealing with sadness, anger, devastation, whatever it is, your emotion of choice is something to do, because you need to understand that happiness is not a natural state. Being content is very, very different. And now during this detox, I kind of like experienced a completely new emotion. It's really hard to describe, because it was not like, oh, I want to jump from the mountains and all these pictures that they show of happy people jumping up in the air that nobody really does. It was close to the bliss, I would say, the way I would describe bliss, because nobody ever feels bliss, right? But it was kind of like, that's great. And it was just the stuff that did interest me before. It was just not allure anymore. So the detox is really, really working. So that's all there it is. So yeah, it was a little bit tiring as well. And I don't know about you guys, maybe because of my detox, I was sleeping a lot. I was really, really tired and kind of like dealing with lots of different things. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Barbie. Who else is here? So my happiness was a double chocolate bar yesterday. Well, that is my thing, and it shows on me a kind of like a little pretty Mr. Pillsbury appearance kind of a thing. So anyway, guys, we are going right into the second part. I actually know what's funny. I'm beyond a detox. I'm craving completely different stuff. My latest craving, and you're going to laugh because this is not much of a bizarre craving. It's like sticky rice bowl with whole bunch of stuff on it, like fermented vegetables, like kimchi, like sauerkraut, then shredded cabbage, like peppers, edamame, which is probably not the best. But that's kind of like what I started to crave after this detox. It's really resetting like my, what do you call it, biome. Sorry, I cannot think of the word right now. You might, microbiome, I believe. And that's basically what they told me it's going to happen, that everything will shift. So it's shifting, but it's also shifting on a spiritual and on emotional level. So yeah, it's really good. This detox is the hardest first 21 days. Today is my 13th day, and it actually technically should last 90 days, but not many people survive 90 days. Most people just finish at 14, and since 14 is tomorrow for me, I'll try to hit 21 and then go one day at a time from that point on. Alrighty, so we have 6 signs left, and so I think this one is for the clarifying. I had a morning, boy, Kylie was there next to me, kind of like moral support. What happened? It was like a whole bunch of bizarre things. First, the camera didn't work, and then I tried to connect it and it was just blinking, and I said, okay, I do have a spare camera just for the moments like that. Then the keyboard and the mouse didn't want to work, and then I realized the little Bluetooth connection died. So I did find the spare keyboard, but then the computer just didn't want to. It was just freaking, everything was going downhill. Then I tried to restart computer, and whenever you have malfunctioning hardware, computers, my computer, like I have Alienware, of course, Aquarius and Alienware, right? And it kind of like affected it, and it didn't want to start. So I was like obsessing, because that's my kind of like nature. Everything has to be prepared, especially because I prepared these little slideshows for Kylie and Lynn, and then like, oh no, what's going to happen? So that kind of like just got resolved on its own. Everything just started to 3 times knock at work, right? So is my dog going to come? Yeah, he did. He doesn't like knocking. Check this out. Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Go get them. Get them, Tiger. Go get them. That's amazing to have a dog who is like so caring. So yeah, you know, detox are really good, and basically you can just go whatever feels good for you. You know what you need to remove, you know what stuff is there for you. So anyway, everybody has to do it in their own time. It was just the right time for me, and I started it. So you guys can, and we have here 1, 2, do I have 6? I hope I have 6 over here. So I'm going to grab one for, there are 2. So it's going to be one for now that you can guess, and then that one you can start guessing while I'm reading for the next one. So let's see it. Yeah, my Tiggy, he's my protector. I had a pheasant in my backyard in the morning, and I didn't even realize. And I let Tiger out for his morning trip to do his stuff, and then I saw poor pheasant trying to fly over the fence, and they're not flying birds, right? So I just screamed. I ran out. Didn't know what Tiger would do, but interestingly, Tiger just cornered him and didn't bite him or anything, which I was so glad. So I was also afraid approaching the bird because he can, and it's raining, and I just ran away in my pajama and slippers that are very slippery in this like freaking mud. So in the end, I did manage also to corner that pheasant further to the part where the fence is very low, and he flew over. So everything's saved. Okay, guys, we have some guesses. We have Libra, Cancer, Libra, So we have Cancer, I think Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Aquarius. I think these are mine. So we're going to have only 3 guesses because we are coming to the end. So choose and guess wisely. So let's see it. Who said Cancer? Kylie and Andy. We have 2 winners. And I'm going to put that here. Kylie and Andy, and it's going to be toward the end, guys. And as you know, the next time I'm already doing annuals. It's going to be only 4 signs. We'll see how it goes, but I don't think I'll be able to do more than 4, and that can be much longer than an hour. And only you guys on live will see it, because I'm going to pull it down, slice it in separate signs, and then post it later. So you're going to be able to see the preview, and then they might not be on for another month. So good for you. Pheasants can indeed fly. Yes, he basically did put an effort in the end, so that was really nice. Good morning, Chris. So let me just put the timestamp over here for Cancers. Do we have anybody Cancer? Usually Sally comes, and she is I think Cancer rising or something like that. So let's see. Cancer, what do we have here for you? What do we have? It's amazing. You guys are on fire today. Cancer. So we have the Empress. And oh my gosh, I'm just actually realizing my vision improved quite a bit. Usually I have to put my contacts. Yeah, you're not going to have like these extensive. Remember how I used to have 1 hour reading for every sign? Oh my gosh, that just was exhausting, literally exhausting. And that's why I kind of like, I think I had burnout after first 8 months of doing that. So Cancers, here we have. Is this possible? 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas. 4. Not 1, which is a lot for 5 cards. Look at how many more cards I have, and so that would mean 21 minus 4. So you would still have like 17, just 17 cards in there, and you kind of like picked up all. So which one stands out? The Minor stands out, and the Minor is clearly telling you how do you pace yourself. You pace yourself with resting, R&R, just like what I was doing last week, and I'm actually going to do that next week. I have canceled most of my appointments and rescheduled the readings that I have to do for the next week, and I'm literally taking some time off, because to me this is really exhausting part when I have to channel the annual. Trust me, it doesn't look like much, but it's really burning my energy. This is getting much better since we kind of like made it more moderate for me. So what do we have, Cancer? The Empress. That's most likely is you. Most likely we are dealing here with some kind of energy that you want to be pampered. This is a Venus principle. Maybe you have a Taurus or Libra in your life. Maybe you have it in your own horoscope. And like, so these 2 cards are really talking about the pampering and everything. But Cancer, what is really typical about Cancer? What do we know about Cancers? They kind of like pull in. They pull in whenever they need to think. Even if they're like, outwardly they seem to be very happy, they might pull in and just like deal with stuff, right, that way. And it might take quite a while for us to really hear the analysis of that process, right? And this is what's happening, right? This is really relating to the 7. Look at this, 3 and 4 is 7, and then it's also finishing with 7. You are reinventing yourself, my dear Cancer. The Tower is showing up here because there's like something you don't want to do, and unfortunately, tada, you're going to be made to do it. So any foundation that is not strong, whether this is a relationship or your job or where you live or how you live or what you eat, maybe more than one, pick 7 kind of a thing, right? it might happen because 16, 1, and 6 is also 7. So we have 7, 7, and 7. Look at this, 3 times that is really showing up. And then when we add them up all, it comes to 22, which is a major master number. So what is the number 22 telling us? 22 is telling us about a major rebuild. But in your case, something has to be torn down or collapsed. You might fall flat on your face. And don't forget that this reading goes from November 23rd to December 22nd. So this is like Sagittarius transit. You're not going to feel really well now during Scorpio transit. While I'm doing this reading, you might feel good and this transit wouldn't affect you as much. But since you're completely out on the limb and somebody on top of that throws some kind of like challenge at you, it kind of like starts becoming a little bit difficult. So how are you handling with that? What are you doing with this? You're getting Magician. Magician is, you're landing on your feet basically, right? Magician can't do anything, right? But Magician is also a trickster. That's basically another name for this card. Who can, I guess, you kind of like want to deal stuff that, you kind of like want to present yourself in a certain way. You're still maybe going back and retracting your old ways. So don't do that, because if you do that, you're just going to loop back, because you know the nature of your sign. You go forward, you go backwards. You need to be, even knowing that you can do it, you need to do it in the highest possible good and kind of like deal with that and go in a kind of like different direction, right? So this is you. Finally, you're taking off. Finally, this is realization. You know what? Almost like feels like that you're going to repeat the process, but differently. You're going to repeat it in a different way. I have to be honest that if you're a man, that you feel that there is like something else that you need to do. If you are a woman, you're going to feel that you're not pampered enough. So it's going to be really very different based on gender, how we will react. But nonetheless, it's a new beginning. It's a new beginning based on something that you felt it's done, arranged, works. So you might be saving a marriage because the Empress showed up. You might be saving a relationship with your children, or taking it to a different level, on the level that maybe should be and maybe it wasn't there. You might even ask for advice of somebody how to do it, even though you kind of like know it. So keep in mind that Magician is also kind of coming close to Gemini, and this is kind of like where that talk comes to mind. So it might be some kind of talk. So let me just see. And also 22, which is the number that everything adds to, if we want to take the master number and put it down, because master number is just like helium voice. You can kind of like act in it and you kind of like see more, you're able to do more, but it burns you really, really quickly, you know? So it's like the big candle versus the birthday candle. Birthday candle, like you see the power and the energy that kind of like attracts, but the bigger candle lasts longer. So most people with regular numbers pace ourselves, and even us who have a master number, because I'm 11, it's really hard to be spiritual all the time. So when basically my energy burns down from 11, I go to 1 + 1 is 2. So there is a collaboration, cooperation, and kind of like how do we do things together, right? So for 22, that energy goes down to 4. And in this particular case, 4 is about rebuilding and building. But look, this 4 that came out for you is like, you dudes are burning the both ends of that stick. What's up with that? That's really, really important here to know. So let's see. Alorna has Cancer in her chart. Okay, I didn't know. So we have a baby. Was there a new baby in the family? Child or a grandchild, or somebody has something, maybe a new project. Maybe this is like something that was really exhausting, but it almost looks like a children maybe issues, and it's going to be a big repair. It would make sense because you guys are very much family type, and like even though I have to say this is kind of like almost saying I'm going solo, or I need to do something. I need to do something. It's one life, and so we go. So let's go from here. Who is the next pick, guys? You have, thank you, Cancers. I wish you Merry Christmas. I hope everything really, really works out for you. So, oh, thank you, Kylie. Thank you, Kylie. We are all going through the change. You all guys here on this channel are going to successfully land on the other side. There are lots of people here who don't care about spirituality or goodness. It is just like very, very cruel or even cold attitude, but that's them. That's them. We are just going to say you go there and we go here. That's all there is. So we have new guesses. Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, Libra. All right. Let me see who's the winner this time. Ooh, Aquarius. Aquarius. All right, so let me see. Aquarius, the timestamp. Let's see. Aquarius. 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 Ooh. We have Six of Pentacles. Ugh. This one wants to come out, but this one wanted to come out too. Ugh. It was just whole bundle at once, like also 20 cards, but look at it. All right. So, for starters, I can tell you that Aquarius is tired of learning old lessons. And somebody might be coming back into the life of Aquarians. Somebody who possibly is born in the sign of Sagittarius or Scorpio. Somebody who could have been very meaningful in our life. But this also could mean that, given that we have a Six of Pentacles and we have a Queen of Wands, we have a Queen of Cups, so two queens. So two queens are standing side by side, so which means one of them could be us, or we could be having a really good girlfriend, or it's kind of like showing different aspects of us, where Queen of Wands is putting our analytical kind of part and go-getter. I need to kind of like finish this stuff. Where Queen of Cups is the somebody who is touchy and feely and caring and so on and so forth. And this always happening after the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles to me always means it's time for balance. Not so much like in a Justice card, right? But it's in a regular card we would see kind of like that sharing of goods, and everybody is getting everything equally, and it's not per merit, so everybody gets it. So what good can come out of it, everybody gets it. It's just like the feeling that nobody is like higher or nobody is lower, right? This is also telling me there's like some major change of attitude, right? Because there are lots of small things, and the big thing is this Temperance, the major arcana that showed up here. And this major arcana always tells us about the bigger things that we really need to focus, and things that are not negotiable. Like all of this we can kind of like whistle out, and we can kind of like do different things. But when something like major comes through, this must happen. In this particular case, look at this like beautiful rainbow that is like reflecting, and this will really show. So this is kind of representing this fire and light, and so the kitty cat is releasing the goldfish over there. It's a kind of like go and bask into that, do not be captive anymore. So we need to, even though Temperance generally means patience and merging new ideas, and you know, like you might have two different things at home, but you never thought about putting them together in order to work. And you never kind of like, this is kind of like the resourcefulness of Queen of Pentacles, that she usually does that. But I'm seeing this happening. Maybe it's going to be some new invention as well, and that's kind of like something happens when we see Temperance. But Having said that, this also could mean that somebody is coming in our life with very unique ideas, and it's Sagittarius, and Sagittarius and Aquarians are actually pretty similar. They don't necessarily use the same tools, they don't act the same way, but they generally introduce new ideas, and generally want to push them forward, right? So it's not like, let's sit down and talk about it. No, this is my idea, let's do it, kind of a thing, right? And so this is where certain things come. But Aquarius is not willing to go along with that. And that is really, really interesting. Ace of Wands is rejection of a new growth. So why is that? Why something so beautiful is being rejected? Let's check this out. You can say that again with this Aquarius. So we have here Widow. Was there something maybe painful for Aquarius that has to be left somewhere in the past, that had to be dealt with and be over with? So Widow is really a unique card in this deck. In the other one, which I still cannot find, which is really weird, so that means I probably placed it in some box. I do have a spare deck, but I'm kind of like really saying let's use this. So it's the same thing. Widower is somebody who, at this stage, you do have enough ability to go to the graveyard to kind of like say your goodbyes, right? To realize this is different interaction at this stage, right? To me, graveyards are always like, they were always such a really weird places, and I do not believe in visiting graveyards. That's my personal thing, so I don't know if other Aquarians are like that, because they just make you sad. And the point of other people, they're on the other side, they're actually vibrant, they retracted back to being healthy and alive and in full force. And meanwhile, we are missing them. It is our feeling. So I don't have to go to a different place in order to feel that sadness. I can as well feel it at home. But maybe this is all that is describing, that certain things are coming out, that certain things that have been difficult to kind of like forecast, and maybe somebody's trying to evoke certain emotions that we had. So maybe this is all about. So Aquarians, you know what, you're going to do everything well. It's not going to be anything that I have to warn you about it, except that you might feel like a fire one day and you want to kind of like go about the things that really, really like with passion, 16 hours a day. But the next day you might just become mellow and just want to relax and want to watch a romantic movie. And to Aquarian, that would be very confusing. What's going on? Am I okay? This kind of stuff. But no, you are okay. Everything is going well. Just keep going. Everything is okay. So this is a learning experience, that certain things maybe you're just learning or hearing from somebody that they wanted to make things work, but there was a reason why they didn't. So you're leaving them in the past, my dear Aquarians. Let's continue. You guys can guess. This is the last guess. This is the very last guess. And after this one, I'm going here. You never visited them either. Yeah, so I don't know, my parents always dragged us to the graveyard, and it was a very sad thing. It was really, really difficult for me to understand. And paying all of this money for the graveyards. When I am dead, my body goes for research if they want to have it. Otherwise, I just really don't care. I'm drinking my highly diluted apple juice, which is part of my detox. And this is like one of the really looking forward to kind of like drinking, because in the morning I can drink highly diluted, so it's like 1/3 of apple juice, 2/3 of water. But then I have to do the broths in the afternoon. They're not that fun. So let's see what is next. The next one is a Leo. Leo. Do we have any Leos over here? Let me just put a stamp over here. Okay. Leo. It's interesting. Aquarius and Leo is the same axis. I think this is how it was the last time. So, and I'm not putting the icons. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's see, where are my signs? Here we go, since I forgot Aquas before. So let's do this. At least I remember this one. All right. Leo. So we have 8 of Wands, and then we have Justice reversed. And then we have the Lovers reversed. So guys, Aquarians are not going back to someone. And just, my dear Leo, and I have to say for every sign, you guys make sure that you are checking introduction as well. And introduction is listed. It was done the previous week, but I have left a link. Because it's very important in order to put everything in context, how everything will develop and continue. I want one more over here. So, Leo, what do we see here? We see 8 of Wands, which is lovely, something, energy flying your way. And it's good one. It's kind of like something you prayed for, something that you anticipated. But you're having a change of mind very last moment, because look at it, 7 and 8 minors and majors. So you have half of your cards are majors. And okay, let me just cover the minors. 7 and 8, 15. 1 and 5 is 6, which is basically shown in this card. Lovers. The devil is also 6. So it's just different dark side of the coin, if you wish. So there is like something in this period that some love or some feeling of love or expectation of love is very, very important. You're craving it, you're praying for it, you want it, but it's not coming. And I think it's not coming because you ultimately turn your back to it. That's kind of how it looks, because how else to explain, like looking for something and then puff? Because the combination of these cards can show as a divorce, can show as a breakup, can show as walking away, can show as monitoring imbalances, a realization of that there is no flow. So sometimes you really want something really badly. Have you been in that situation? And then you get it, and all of a sudden, like, you're wondering, like, what was I thinking, right? That's because we idolize people at times, and people are just people. We are just who we are, right? Maybe something like that has been happening in your life, and almost like this is coming to a halt, or it's coming to an end. And after that, you're simply just regrouping yourself by observing what you have and kind of like reshuffling certain kind of like things. This generally deals with finances, and it deals with I guess letting go of things that don't work financially, more or less. This is really, I feel, emotional. I really don't see it as connecting to this card. It's almost like they're two different stories. And these, I would say, it's the same one. So let me just see why we are getting this reversed majors. And I usually pull more cards when I see majors reversed, because that's a lesson we need to go through. Look, jealousy. And like, oh my gosh, look at this card. 2 of them are kissing, and there is like this dude, not a really happy one. So is it maybe finding that somebody is with somebody and you feel let down? But just in finding it, like, it's so much easier to kind of like let go. Like, you know, like if you ever watched Oprah, and I did, like sometimes she would invite these people who had those secret families, right? And or even secret identities, or even kind of like some people have been, what do you call it, fished, or is it fished? And then I was always wondering how these people feel after that reveal. Can they even still feel the same emotion for the person? Because clearly the person that they felt they're in love with is just not there. It doesn't exist, right? So I can see here certain elements like that. To be honest with you, you have been very loyal to somebody who hasn't been loyal to you. And oh my God, disloyalty is never a good thing, or cheating, which maybe is the case over here. But you do that to a fixed sign, you're going to learn your lesson. It's not going to be fun. So, and then we have falseness. So that's kind of like why my first intuitive, hi, Hi. Hi. She had a new necklace, and then yesterday she just came to me, and I realized she has this like little wound on her, on two sides over here. And I just realized, I don't know, can you see it, poor thing? That freaking necklace is causing friction, and it's hurting her. And she was trying to tell me this for the last 2 weeks since I bought it, and I just thought she was being cranky. But her basically behavior improved. Now Tiger is licking her neck, and it's hopefully going to really heal very soon. So yeah, this is karmic because this is a karma card, but look what we are getting: jealousy, fidelity, falseness. So you're questioning somebody in a core. You're like really saying to yourself, what was it doing? What was it thinking? And it's just like, I'm not seeing here walking away. I'm just seeing here that all of a sudden you have completely different interests. You're just moving in a direction that you're putting yourself first, which is really great, right? And kind of like really working with that. Maybe this also refers back to some kind of partnership. That can be another kind of corollary of this rule. So jealousy is, again, not a good emotion, guys. If you're dealing with jealousy, you are having self-esteem issues, and you really need to address it. So how does one feel when somebody cheats? One feels let down. One feels disappointed, right? When you feel jealous, that means that you feel that that woman, because she has something that you don't have, is better than you, and or a man, right? That's what happens. So you need to kind of like figure out, because we are a unique combination of things, and everybody presents this different combination. So if somebody likes different combination, that's all there is, right? Your combination might be more appealing to somebody else, and it's almost like, what do they say, that one door closes, another one opens, right? So rejection is what is this, something God's blessing. Sorry, I'm just completely messed up with this. Detox is really messing up my focus and my ability to really think about the right thing. But it is what it is. I think you know me, and I'm just being true with you. Safi, I need to get to the cards, and I know that you're mini Leo, but you're Aquarius. Actually, you're not Leo. But can I get the cards? What do you say? Can I get the cards? Thank you. So, Leo, just buckle up. It might be a little bit of a rough ride, and I would say, I mean, look at it, 16 and 11. We don't really add majors, but that would be 17. That's a star. That is, again, what I'm telling you, a little bit higher level of following what you want, and this is exactly what you are doing. So I'm not really afraid of how you're going to finish this year, because you're going to start a new one very well by shedding looks like old skin, and that's kind of like something, dedication that you are making. Yeah, rejection is God's protection. Is that kind of like what the saying is? Finally, Safi put great luck on Leo. Yes, the little talkative little thingy. So the next one is, and now the Matrix is coming, and he's licking her. So everybody, look at how they know that healing has to be given, and they couldn't do it because that freaking necklace was covering that, and maybe it was even cutting their little tongues. So Libra is next. We have Libra in the house, her master moderator Barbie. So let's see what we have here. Just my stamp. Let me change the icon as well. Alrighty, Libra, what is in the store for you? Look, this is pre-December. So the next time we are going, for the next 3 times, we are going to do annuals, as I said, and only live will see them, and I might post them at the end of December. And then we are going to have, after that, January, and then I'm taking a couple of weeks off for Christmas. So Libra, rejection is redirection for what is meant for you. Yes, it's God's protection. Six of Wands, Two of Swords, but these two also wanted to come out. All right, so we have a Six of Wands, Two of Swords reversed, Ace of Cups, and Queen of Cups, and we have the Sun reversed. So the major arcana shown in the Sun, I really like the Sun in Zenith. It's one of these things that we find it very romantic. It's not too hot at the time of the day. It's enjoyable. It's visually very pleasing. So I always find the Sun reversed is a little bit more comfortable than the Sun upright, and it's still a very positive card. So what is happening with you, my dear Libras? So Six of Wands talks about some kind of victory, some kind of success, something kind of like moving forward, something that you really enjoy, or something that you finally, you deserved it. Like this both cards are showing some kind of success, if you wish. It is possible some kind of promotion or getting something and going in a new direction. But there is like some kind of like doubt. You need to deal with this doubt. And somebody is like, look, she's walking like, I mean, blindfolded, like tightrope, and it's over the water. Like, what can freaking go wrong on this one, right? So it is also connecting to lunar phases, and it's literally the proverbial card choosing between your heart and your mind, right? So what is it you prefer? You're Libras. You see, like this card is being always interpreted for the particular person or for the particular sign. It doesn't have the universal meaning, because ultimately it's a sword card, and swords are kind of like a second nature to air signs, right? Libra is an air sign, so it's not going to affect you. If this is kind of like being shown to a water sign, swords will rust in the water, and they're not going to have this effect, and water knows it. It's just a matter of time. I just need to be patient and I'll see it, right? So for you, there's like something swift that you want to put in action. You also be kind of like very careful that somebody is maybe two-faced. Somebody is not what they appear to be. So there is like this new beginning of a sort over here, which is really interesting, because even though I broke them down, they actually flew like that. And what is really interesting is because, especially if you're a woman, because we still have the king on top of it, this is kind of like you are setting something in motion that is a lot, right, Happy? Right? Do you love me? And do you love everybody on live? How much? That much? Oh yes, I love you. We all love you. We all love you. Yes. Can I finish this reading for pretty Libras? Huh? You go and check the birds. Can you go? I cannot see anything from her. She's completely blocked my view here. They are a destroyer. What is with these people? So how long we didn't have anybody like that? That's your Libra. See, this is literally good example of lunar eclipse, that, you know, idiots show up, and so we are going to actually this person is hidden from the channel, thank you very much, but we are going to do a little bit more than that. Here we go. But why can I not? Oh, they changed this. Oh yes, I can remove the user. Here we go. Bye bye. Thank you, Barbie. Great reaction. So this means there are like big things placed in motion. So there's like something that you really want. It is not something that you think it might happen. Let's say you're working and you're working very hard, you're getting good reviews and you get promotion. No, this is like literally something that you pray for, that you are hoping for, something that would make you literally happy. You know what they say when we are dying, you cannot take your money with you? I don't think this is connecting with money. I really think this is like something really personal, and you're going to succeed. Guess what? These two cards have the biggest cups from all the other cards. Cups are much smaller in any other one. Let me just pull random. Here we go. Look at the size of cups. These are the regular size of cups, and look at the big ones. So you're gambling, you're putting a lot, or this could be a new love interest, because that's kind of like what aces can actually signify. So maybe this kind of looks like that you're going to be noticed, that you're somewhere there, like you're having fun, you're being noticed, but maybe you're being hesitant about even going in this direction. But somebody is going to persist, or a situation will continue for you in that kind of like way. So I don't know where the Venus is. I have to check where is Venus these days. But you are clearly going to be very, very attractive. You're going to look young. I don't care how old you are, but you're going to have that youthful quality about you. And like the sun in any reading is like shining on it. Like sun cannot make, even ugly things are really beautiful in the sun. So that's what you're getting. Like, look at this romance, sitting together, feeling really good. Even if this means, guys, and this is like a little bit of an extreme interpretation, you sitting alone somewhere on the bench and looking at the sunset and rolling through your memory all of these beautiful things that have happened to you. Simply you're doing that as a training to evoke that emotion, evoke this big cups, because you're going to have enormous amount of emotional power over here. So please use it wisely. So let me just see why this like Two of Swords reversed over here. There is like some kind of like message that you're going to get from somebody or sent to somebody in that regard. Not really the script. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's somebody who wants to be with you. This is called merriment, this kind of card. Somebody is inviting you somewhere. So expect the invitation of some sort, guys. You're going to be the talk of the town. So not a bad read at all, Libra. So from all the lessons that we need to learn, I guess you being Libra, you need to learn how to respond on advances and charming stuff, and just enjoy it. That's pretty much all there is that I'm getting for you. So Kylie said, spot on. Had someone at work deliberately throwing roadblocks on my path. I'll just say I took my power back. No longer have a tort. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Alright, so let's remove this icon. And we have two left. So let's go with this one first. And with this one 7. Just give me a second to put all the other ones back in the bag. Otherwise, the kittens get it. They're getting more and more teenager-like, and there are like more and more damages happening. But I remember when Safi was small, that was just the name of a day. What else is broken today? So it's not out of question that all of these issues that I had this morning was like, masterwork of Onyx or Jasper, because I caught Onyx chewing on the cables. Well, just talking badly about him. All right. So the next one is Virgo. Virgo. And let me just put that one here. Go back to you guys. All right, Virgo. Virgo timestamp. And let's go. My Mercury is in Virgo, so basically in the ruler planet, which means that I can communicate well if I want to, unless it's retrograde. But somehow because of that, to me sometimes, I don't know, you guys have the same feeling. I have a feeling that retrograde is all the time, every day. It's really weird. Like today I was like thinking, are we not out of this retrograde? Why is this happening with computers? So Virgo. So we have 9 of Wands reversed. We have the Moon. We have 10 of Cups reversed. And the Hermit, which is you guys. So I did talk about that we need to that we are going to, some of us are going to have the lessons coming through. And even though, for example, Libra had like this lesson that everybody wants to live through, some other time they're going to have these lessons, but you almost like have the opposite lesson of Virgos, of Libras, pardon me, Virgos. So Virgo, don't forget to check the introduction. So it's also listed because it also applies kind of like Also, if you're not guys getting my newsletters, please sign. I put the link down in the link, because I do send this kind of stuff, and trust me, it's not a pleasure of any kind that I send you kind of like bad news. I just prefer not to sugarcoat, and if this is entertainment, I would sugarcoat, but I'm really telling you what I see. Whether or not you want to call it a talent or not, this is up to you. So Virgo, you are like number 9. Like you're like, this is like your card. Like you're like emphasized with this hermit who is seeking for the truth, who is trying to light the road. And I find like Virgos and Aquarius, sometimes they're very, very close in that respect. But look at this, he's going through the darkness and not really caring what the other world thinks. This is interesting because this card also belongs to that family of 9s, right? So it's one of the lessons in that. Like, I mean, there's like somebody who is still soldiering on. It's really interesting. I'm seeing both of them holding, interestingly, the wand, even though this is wands, but this is not wand with their tail. So there is like, they're watching your back, I would say, to some kind of like extent. There's like something that has happened, you're not sure, because the moon is always very confusing. If you're not Pisces, moon just doesn't speak really good things. It's kind of like throwing you off your game, going in a different direction. It's very, very difficult to deal with. And that's why Pisces are swimming into direction. Even with Pisces people, you never know what to expect. They don't know what to expect. And that's kind of like how it really works, right? So look at this. We have a 9, and we have a 9, and we have a 9. So we have these 3 9s. There's like some sense of finality. You need to deal with some kind of emotions. You need to deal with, I don't want to say what is right, what is wrong, because this is more justice than moon. But there is like the doggo barking at the moon and the cattle kind of like trying to reach the moon. And yet only the lobster makes it, because you need to go through these pearly gates. You need to kind of like return back. Because whenever the Pisces cards show up, it really ultimately talks about transition to the other side. So how do we get there? We get there through dying. It's never the place where we really want to go. So we kind of want to go on the other side, but we don't want to die. Kind of like we don't want to kind of have this step in between. There's like something going on with the family. So this is your cross to carry, right? So there's like some maladjustment in the family relationship. Maybe something that you have been fighting for that you're just tired of. You just don't want to fight anymore. Maybe you're getting mixed messages from your family, and maybe you are the one who is a martyr, who's doing all of the stuff, but there's like nothing coming in turn, because this just shows a group of people who just seems to be kind of like you always seem to be square peg in a round hole. But there you go, just like the other readings, you're finding your footing. You're finding your footing. You're saying, you know what, I know who I am. Let me process this Zen. Let me go in and kind of like deeply internalize what I really need to go through. So I really want to go in this new direction, right? And this is kind of being as positive as you can be. It's like raising phoenix. Keep in mind that it was just the same thing with Leo, I believe. I think it was the same thing with Cancer. Interestingly enough, like, because this is the higher kind of like level of who you are, right? 18, 9 times 2 is 18, right? But same as I told you with master numbers in numerology, it's kind of hard to operate this. So maybe there is a strong Pisces that you have in your own chart. Take a look at it. Maybe you have a Pisces in your life. Clearly indication of water signs or fire signs are very, very strong over here. That somehow they're playing a role of a sort, right? But it could be also earth signs that are very present over here. So let me just see what exactly else we need to learn over here. Look at this anger, like anger with the family. Maybe you're just, maybe like certain situation it keeps repeating. This anger could be with family, but it also could be with yourself. It could be saying to yourself, why am I placing myself in these situations, right? Because generally we don't go and jump in fire, right? But when it's family, this is the only fire you know, only fire you have. And many people have dysfunctional families. What can I say? Count me in too. So this is a thought. you're going through a really deep thinking, lots of meditation. This is all highly yoga, highly meditative, highly zen. You're looking at the bigger picture. Why am I going through all of that? So this is a good thing. When this kind of like Mickey Mouse situations appear, they do kind of like shake you, but ultimately you go really back on your feet and you're asking yourself for a bigger meaning of things that are really showing up. And the moon is the officer. There's like some kind of like rigidness about this whole situation, because the moon is very much wishy-washy. That's why it represents Hollywood, and Hollywood is just like a big illusion. And it's a very attractive illusion, right? And that's why we all go for it. But ultimately you kind of like want to enter the door, it's like pfft, there's nothing there, like, right? So is it better to be with a trickster magician who is going to say, I can do that, but he actually delivers, even though he offers you and he kind of like promises you Ferrari, and you get a little kind of like toy Ferrari. Nonetheless, at least you get something. Here you literally get nothing. So it's almost like that you want to bottle fog or air, and this is really futile process that you really need to realize. Going to be lots of thinking. So that's, if you want to remember one thing about it, that is going to, the thinking going to bring up lots of emotions, lots of kind of hidden things. This needs to be released, and you need to kind of like keep going up, keep climbing toward your own self-fulfillment or self-realization, my dear Virgo. So who is the last over here? Is it Scorpio that is the last? Sugar comes last, right? So I just had a reading for a client last week, and usually when I have longer readings, I also pull up your astrological chart, and I give you a little bit quick intro in all of that, because it's really relevant to the reading, and it does help me, and you get a free bonus that way. But what most people don't know, that no matter which sign you are, if you have ascendant in Scorpio, you technically are Scorpio. Just let's face it, because this is so strong and so overwhelming that kind of like that. Oh, I have this one here. What was that? Oh, Virgo. All right, I didn't put it in. And this one, Gemini. What? Did I read Scorpio the last time? I must have. Guys, did we not read Gemini last time? Maybe we didn't. Let me just double check. Must be. Oh, sorry. Yes, we did. I just put a completely wrong one. My bad. So that's right, we did Scorpio. That's right, it came strong, and now I'm recalling, I even said how it's really important that Scorpio came through to tell us a little bit more information about all of these lunar eclipses and stuff that we are going. There you go, Andy. You're Scorpio. If you didn't know, now you do. So let me change the icon. And of course there is like beautiful weather outside, and I have the neighbor, I did change it to Gemini, who is always going to destroy this like last few days of summer, if you wish, and he's going to, I guess he has to cut his wood, but it's just kind of like, oh dude, please. I hate lawnmowers. I hate anything on weekends. This is just like my pet peeve, kind of like a thing. So let's see. Geminis, we have the Chariot reverse. Is it something else? No. Then we have Page of Pentacles. We have Ace of Pentacles. I'll close the window. Imagine I'm sitting next to the window open. This is how warm it is. And the Four of Cups. So, well, this is typical for you, Gemini. You do get bored, right? So, how do you guys motivate yourself? What do you do, guys, in order to do stuff that you really like? Because it looks like this whole transition is slowing you down. Hello, Matrix. How are you? Oh, you're talking too. Do you love me? And do you love everybody else? Oh, this is the most he talked in his life, probably altogether, cumulatively. Really? Can I continue reading now, mister? Can I continue reading? Yeah. Yes. Well, this is the guy who he has two birthdays, one in Scorpio, one in Taurus, because I found him just before Halloween, rescue him from the kids. And the second one is like, I think he's Taurus. He really likes his sleeping. He likes nice fresh sheets. He likes food. So hello, Taurus. So it is. So guys, here there's like something that is not going as planned, my dear Gemini. So something goes right into the ditch with a really high speed. So something is just diving in on the nose. So you're just realizing it's not like really getting out, but there's some new process that is starting, because the Page of Pentacles and Ace of Pentacles are almost identical, except this one has a much bigger pentacle and has a little Siamese kitty, very curious. And as you can see by Safi, kind of like how this curiosity really works. So this is also 11 here if you really look, but altogether is 12. So there are like some kind of sacrifices that they need to be made. And so these kind of like new beginnings are more or less in setting your foot on the firm ground. Maybe you have questions about your survival. Maybe you have questions about your finances. Maybe you want to start budgeting. Maybe you kind of like want to save something for the long-term goals. But ultimately, all of that stuff bores you to the tears, right? And that's kind of like what the Four of Cups does. It has to be done from time to time. Like, I mean, I have to here paint my trim in the house. I have to organize all these cords, and I'm living here now for over a year in this house, and I still haven't done it because I hate doing it. So this is like something that is really, really happening over here, right? So something here is really going in a direction that is really good for you. You're going to set it up, and then you go, oh my God, how these like earth signs are doing this. I just want to shoot myself, kind of a thing, because you are bored beyond imagination. Well, the question is like, why is it you're not getting somebody to do that for you, right? Because clearly there's like some understanding that you have to get yourself and how you're doing it yourself. By the way, Matrix is still here. He's just a little bit here lying down in my hands and just can pull my hands. He's letting me enough to do that. And he's purring over here. So what basically needs to happen over here is that you just need to get over this hurdle. This is something you need to do. You need to set things right. You need to explain people how you want things done, whether or not this is like a help that you have or that you're hiring somebody. This is what I want to do. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Maybe it was just realization that something was going on. You try to figure out that people will figure out, but things just really didn't work out in that way. So let me see the clarifiers for you. Ugh, death. There is like the end of something. You are just so fed up with something, and you just really don't want to really deal with this anymore. And then misfortune, and then visit. So you are really saving yourself. There's like something, and this could be your children. I hope you guys are not going to have issues with children. And I don't know even why I pulled these cards for this one, because I technically needed for this one, which I really didn't do. Look at that constancy. This one is a very, very powerful card. And so let's not play with this one. I'm going to explain a little bit more. But these two cards are so overwhelmingly powerful that I just really don't know what to say. So this makes sense. It's some kind of like visit. But maybe you're preventing misfortune, because this one is actually a positive card. There's like not something that you really need to worry about this misfortune coming through. Yeah, if it only was misfortune, if I was only reading Gypsy card, I would say, holy moly, lock yourself out and just don't get out anymore, right? Because that's kind of like how strong the card is. Like this is like 3 times the tower, right? When you kind of like deal with that. But ultimately, we are dealing here with something that it just cannot go. Something that cannot go. Maybe it's the end of the story. Maybe you guys are divorcing. Maybe you guys are not willing to go in a certain directions. You're changing something that has been constant in your life. And it almost looks to me that you kind of like have the situation where you select something and then you expect this to work, and I have given you instructions, and let's kind of continue going on. But then ultimately you're getting on this boredom, you're getting this constancy, right? Which was in Italian Costanza, stability, right? That is kind of like showing over here. So we are talking about this, some kind of like continuity and reliability and some kind of like solidity, something being purpose. Come on, Matrix, stop it. Purposeful and prudent. You're being very determined, and that burns lots of energy. And most of us don't have really strong energy now coming into Christmas. It's a low time, especially if you live in the northern hemisphere, right? So what are we talking about here, right? So this card is very favorable, and even though there was like something that was showing kind of like direction that went tits up, if you wish, this is kind of like showing that you can achieve great things in all areas, right? So the constancy will be rewarded, which bores you to death, but it must be done, right? So not so much change in the attitude as much as the commitments will be maintained, and lovers will be faithful, and constancy work will be rewarded, right? So the only kind of like very, very mild negative meaning that can have is if it's linked to some kind of like adverse event as such, right? Then I guess would say the situation is unmovable and kind of like static, right? So this is also about patience. Something is really, really going on. Something that you counted on is not happening, and you really need to deal with that until the next time. So you just kind of like have to take it what you can take it. This would be like proverbial that 10 of cups card, that constancy, right? So this is like that fulfillment of the things, and it's kind of like that feeling of, oh, I'm here because I want to be here. This is kind of like what I have created. So the advice will be here for my dear Gemini, so maintain continuity with the past and just be consistent and be true, and that's all that I can say over here. So I hope this really, really helps, my dear. Thanks. So we are going to the cards, but before we get to the cards, it will be Kylie. And who else was there with you? Was it Barbie or Andy? Let me see, who was it? Where did I write it down? Kylie and Andy, that you're getting your cards. Kylie, you're getting Sea Kitten, Page of Cups reversed. Somebody's flirting with you, but somebody doesn't have any intention to push it further. How to explain it? It's almost like, but it's still going to make you feel good, right? And oh, look at that! Did you see that, guys? I was just already putting it down, and it just like something pried it out of my hand and went up. So this is a fire kitten, and it almost looks like you're going to have a big change of attitude because it goes from one kitten to another kitten, and this one is very curious, and etc. So somebody is going to be very playful and flirty, but they're not going to be interested. And maybe because now you're forewarned, so you're becoming forearmed, you're just going to play. You're going to turn this whole game around and play with them just like that. That's kind of like what it is. You're going to know the name of the game. And Andy, his ex-wife keeps wanting to sell the house, but he keeps putting up because he and child live there. Well, it's a good time to sell the house right now because it might go down. So that's one good news about it, but weird, so weird. So Andy, you're getting 2 of fire here, but this one also wanted to come out, and this is a Chariot. So there's like something that maybe describes your relationship here, right? Because this kitty is saying, man, should I go out? Should I go out? You know the system. You open the door for the cat, they come to the door, they turn it around. Like actually my dog starts to doing that. Maybe he'll learn it from the cats. Like even in the morning when he has to go and pee, he sees the rain, he's like, ew, I'm not going there. This is too much of a rain. So they need to invent a little umbrella for dogs. Or indoor bathrooms, kind of a thing. So there is like this indecision that is rendering you a little bit moody. I would say moody is the best way to go by because it's fire, right? And you might get a little bit snappy, kind of like saying certain things, because the Chariot is ultimately a single guy who kind of like wants to be on his own. But when the Chariot reverses, it's somebody who technically is single, but he doesn't know what he wants. And this is worse. At least if somebody tells you this is what I want, then you at least know it's, even if the decision is not necessarily something you like, but this is kind of like very, very different. So I know this is not the greatest, but it is what it is. Sally, oh my gosh, I'm sorry to see, Sally. How are you doing, sweetie? I hope you are well. So, bad news, but it's good to see you guys coming as a crowd. So we are going to be doing right now, where are mine? And please, I'm encouraging you one more time, guys, if you have anything that you want to send me, some photos of you, I will gladly feature it over here. So it's so good to see a little bit more about everybody who is here. So guys, think about your questions now if you already picked a category. So let's just do that. I'll just do that. And I have cut these cards into 3. So we're going to just be looking at the bottom of the deck. And did I even put my stamp for Gemini here? And I didn't. So I will need to guess it somewhere. Yeah, let's do it this way. Question mark. And now we are doing a card. Let me put this stamp. Alright, it's almost the same identical stamp as the last time, believe it or not, as I'm looking at the stamps. So yeah, Sally, my condolences as well. So I'm so sorry to hear it. Sally is going through lots of caregiving lately. It's one of those years, right? Whew. Anybody look for number 1? So number 1, it's reversed 6 of Earth. So it's going to be some kind of imbalance, and I don't think it's going to be working out for you. So I think the number 1 is a clear no. The door number 2 is 9 of Earth. So 9 of Earth is both positive up and down, even though it came reversed. So there's like something that you don't want to be doing by yourself. So it's a craving to be with somebody. And I think that can come in a way. Like if your question was about dating somebody, then it can be a really turn off factor for somebody else. You know what I mean? When somebody's too eager and you're not sure, you kind of like almost decide to eliminate the person versus, okay, let's see where we go, because you're seeing that other person is also still exploring. So that's why this is a little bit iffy, and keep this in mind, right? And the card number 3 is 8 of Fire, and whoever picked number 3 is on fire. This is a big yes, and this is going to happen very, very soon. Some kind of like messages coming your way, and could be messages of love, could be messages of promotion, could be messages, anything that you're anticipating to hear, you will hear. So that's kind of like what I have over here. I'm going to pull one more card for Sally. So just the message that you get. So this is, oh my gosh, look what we are getting here. There is like Matthew is, you got the death reversed. Like, I mean, you're getting messages that you're unnecessary suffering, that transition is happening, he's traveling to the better place. Look at this card, like there are 9 lives of this death. Now you tell me, can tarot lie? Like, look at this, like, isn't it freaking scary? So Sally, just, you know, in spirit, the transition is happening, going to the better place, going to the healthy place. It's not what we want to hear, because over here we have emotions of a different kind, but it is what it is. I'm so sorry. So my dear kittens, I really thank you for being here again with me. Next time, I think, is it 19th? Did I pick this date properly? Yes, on the 19th we are going to start with the annual, so we are going to see. So iffy and good, I choose 340 outcome. Good for you. Lovely week for everybody. Guys, we have this tropical storm coming in the middle of November. So I'm going to enjoy this 20 even though it's raining. But tomorrow we are going to deep fall, and this is the end of it. Thank you all for everybody. I love you. Until the next time, I wish you all the best. Take care. It's not letting me end. Okay, we are staying here. Okay, here it's showing me. Love you. All the best.